Beneath the surface, secrets, betrayal, and revenge unfold. Elena Müller is a striking German woman known for her beauty and charm, working as a project manager in Zurich. Elena is admired by everyone, but she battles inner dissatisfaction. Victor Miller, her Swiss banker husband, is practical, disciplined, and deeply loving, though reserved. Victor, 34, is career-driven and believes his efforts secure their future together. Yet, he struggles to express his emotions to Elena. Luca Rossi, 29, an energetic Italian designer and Elena's colleague, contrasts sharply with Victor. His charisma and spontaneity attract Elena's attention. It was an early autumn morning in Zurich. The crisp air and golden leaves set a serene atmosphere as Elena stood on her balcony. Holding her coffee cup, Elena gazed at the lake. The view, meant to comfort, only made her feel restless and unsettled deep inside. Life with Victor had become predictable, safe, and comfortable. Elena, once excited by their early years, now longed for something she could not name. The story began to unfold when Elena met Luca. It all started quite innocently. Luca was a newcomer in her office, a designer known for his unconventional thinking. His works were bold, refreshing, and creative. Nothing like Elena's life. Where Victor was cautious, Luca was daring. Where Victor was methodical, Luca was spontaneous. At office meetings, Elena often laughed at his jokes, lingering in conversations longer than necessary. But everything changed on one special evening. The company had just signed a major contract, and the team decided to celebrate it at a local bar with drinks. Elena didn't plan to stay long. Victor was waiting for her at home. But Luca was there, and his gaze made her feel something she hadn't felt in years. She told herself it was harmless. A little flirting wouldn't hurt anyone. As the evening went on, drinks flowed freely, and Luca admitted he had always admired Elena. Elena took his words as a joke, but when he brushed a strand of hair from her ear, a spark ignited between them. That night, they kissed for the first time. In the dark alley behind the bar, a moment of passion occurred that would haunt Elena in the days to come. She told herself it was just a fleeting infatuation. Victor was not supposed to know the danger that this step beyond marriage held. But Luca wanted not just stolen kisses, but much more. Soon, Elena found herself involved in a romance deeper and more complicated than she had imagined. Meanwhile, Victor noticed changes in Elena before she did herself. At first, they were small things. The phone always lying face down on the table, late nights at work, and a lack of interest in weekends in the Swiss village. Elena came late again, smelling of someone else's perfume. Her excuses were weak, and her eyes expressed guilt and fear of the truth. Avoiding him, she hurried upstairs to take a shower. Victor felt a tight knot in his chest, but stayed silent, needing proof before acting on his suspicions. For weeks, Victor watched quietly from the background, tracking her location without her knowing. He noted when she was not where she said she would be. He even managed to check her phone once while she was asleep. There he saw Luca's name, a name appearing far too often in her messages. There were no explicit exchanges, but Victor could read between the lines. One Friday, Elena told him She had a business trip to Milan.
Victor decided to follow her. The city was only a few hours away, and he had an urgent need to discover the truth.
Sitting in a cafe near her hotel, his heart sank when he saw her walk out hand in hand with Luca.
It was not just a fling. This was real. Elena had fallen for another man, the calm before the storm. Instead of confronting Elena with rage, Victor did what he did best. He planned.
He did not want a shouting match, nor her apologies or explanations. He wanted something else entirely. Over the next few weeks, Victor pretended that nothing had changed. He became more attentive to Elena, surrounding her with love and affection, as if ignoring her betrayal.
He even suggested going on vacation, a long-desired trip to Santorini, a place they had dreamed of together. Elena, perhaps feeling guilty or hoping to rekindle their bond, gladly agreed.
They flew to Greece, staying in a luxurious villa overlooking the ocean. The sunsets were magnificent, and the wine endless. But there was a tension between them that Elena couldn't explain.
Victor was too kind and perfect, as if trying his best. Elena brushed off the anxiety, convincing herself that the trip was exactly what they needed to find each other again. But Victor's heart was cold and resolute. On their last evening in Santorini, after a romantic dinner by the sea, Victor handed Elena a beautifully wrapped gift.
Surprised, she smiled and tore off the wrapping, discovering a leather diary.
Expecting something touching, she opened it and saw photographs, secret shots of her and Luca.
There were also hotel receipts and messages they exchanged. Elena felt how Victor's deceit and jealousy became evident, shattering her hopes of restoring their relationship.
All was meticulously documented.
"I didn't come here for your apology," Victor continued. "I brought you here so you could see the life you're about to lose." Elena was silent, feeling the heavy weight of her actions.
Victor spoke again. "I've already spoken to a lawyer. When we return to Zurich, the papers will be ready." Elena's mind raced, unable to find words. "You can leave with your dignity, or I can expose everything, your affair, your lies. The choice is yours," Victor said, leaving the decision in Elena's hands. Elena stared at him, her mind spinning. She had never imagined it would come to this. Her entire world was collapsing, and she felt powerless to stop it. Afterward, Victor left Elena alone on the balcony. The cool night breeze blew softly as she stood there, lost in her thoughts and regrets. The wind from the Aegean Sea pierced the air. She sat for hours, contemplating her next move. By morning, she realized she had to face the consequences of her actions. They silently returned to Zurich. The divorce was finalized within a few weeks. Elena moved out of the villa. Her life forever changed. Victor, on the other hand, found solace in closure. He did not raise his voice or show anger, dealing with betrayal in his own way. Thus ends the story. A man's quiet revenge and a wife who paid the highest price for her secrets. What do you think? If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for new, exciting stories. See you in the next video!